problems that might arise with work and every other initiative that would just drive productivity. She's there for you. So she know what to do, what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. So welcome, 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 Mrs. Toiba Yusuf. Thank you very much for joining us here today at IOTB Tech. And we're excited to have you, ma'am. Please, I need you guys to clap. I'm not seeing your emoji. Jay, because the welcome address is just very short. You don't want to know what she's embodying. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. And having introduced her, there's this last icebreaker that I want to ask. I know we're having a lot of icebreakers, but this is just to help us get into the session properly. We are addressing critical problem and the solutions to addressing them. So that's why we are bringing these icebreakers. So this one says, what 3 items will you bring to a deserted island for survivor and why? You can only bring 3 things. You know your life is at stake. Desert is dry and every other thing that is involved with the, or like associated with the desert. So 3 things that would help you survive in the desert for at least a month. So what would you bring? I'll be in the comments. Hi guys, I'm waiting for your inputs. Food. So you don't need clothing. Ah, okay. Oh, please, I need another response because food is not enough. When some people say money is not enough, yes, for me, food is not enough to help you survive. Solar power device, enough food, enough water, food, blankets, knife. Please, Harry, what do you need a knife for? Water, food, clothing, food, water, food, water, my food. Please, if your phone run out of battery, how will you charge it? Water, a drone, and paracetamol. These tech people, drone, to survive. Food, water, my wife. All these married people, they just have any opportunity to press us singles neck. They are there like mad. Hey, oh, water, food, and lights. Please, what do you need lights for? Knife to cut wood. As how? As in, I don't understand. Is that wife part necessary? Food, warmer, food, water to stay hydrated. A partner. Please, I think we need to remove those people that are adding their partner. Please, what do you need your partner for survivor? Ah, please, Mr. Yusuf, I think you have done us here. Which one is food, knife, water, and power station? Source of water storage, permanent. I think I need to love up. Maybe me too. I'll just go to the island. I'll just take man. So just maybe. But somebody, yeah, I feel like I'll rather take food, water, and a man. So if I'm taking a man, regardless, my wife, my husband, then that person can at least, because I'm the only one eligible to take just take things. He can bring more things, so we can have a tent. He can actually bring tents, clothing, and every other items that would need for survival. So for me, a partner, whether male or female. I know that that has very good survival skills. So if we hear, oh, the person is there holding dagger, and I'll be behind the person, smiling cheaply. We just praising the person and hoping that we get to survive the night. So yes, yes, and with that, would welcome our guest speaker, Mrs. Toiba Yusuf, and today's topic is recognizing barriers to excellence. Thank you, Ma. Your mic is not unmuted and we can't hear you speak. We can't see your screen too.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm sorry. I'm struggling with both my camera and my audio for a while. So just give me a couple seconds. I have to connect from my phone.
All right, ma'am.
Please let me know if you can see me now. For some reason, I don't know. I'm feeling very stupid with Teams today. So yeah.
Sorry. We can see you, but it's a bit frozen. So I think we can hear you clearly too. I think it works fine now.
Okay. Okay. Assalamu alaikum to wabarakatuh. I am very happy to be here. Please let me know if you can still hear or see me. Honestly, I don't know what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing at this point. My computer is really messing up.
We can hear you.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum to wabarakatuh, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be amongst everyone here today. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names and also names that I don't know. Before we proceed, I would like to request anyone that can have their camera on should do so. It would make it a much more interactive session that way, instead of us just talking into the phone or devices that we are using. So if you could do that, I would very much appreciate it. I will also work on getting my camera to work right now, so it's not like I'm asking you to do something that I'm not doing myself.
All right, we'll get to it. So please, everybody, let's do well to put on our cameras and show our beautiful faces.
Yes, please. Okay, I think I can see myself too. Okay, I think my camera is working right now. Okay, I see Moscow. Thank you. Yeah. Please don't be shy. It's supposed to be, an interactive session, an opportunity for us to meet ourselves, make new friends and connections. So, yeah, that's the whole point. So, one quick question before I proceed. I see a name here that's Henry Ashipa. I have been looking through. I don't discriminate first. I just want to know if this is inclusive of other people from other faiths. Like we might have Christians here and all. The reason is because there might be some references to the Quran or Hadith in the presentation. So I'm just trying to be informed before we proceed.
Yes, ma'am. We do have
Okay.
some people of different.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you again. My name is Taiba Yusuf, and I know many of you know me. I am also a product of IOTB. and Tim San in brackets. So the topic before me today actually is it's pretty long. So there's a theme and then there's a topic. The theme is debugging life, strategic thinking in real time, I mean in real world scenario. And the topic is talking about how we can recognize the barriers to excellent critical thinking execution for real life problem solving acumen. Like it's a lot of English and stuff. So um, I would start by sharing my screen. Let me pull that up. Let me know once you can see my screen. No, this is not what I want to share. Okay, so can we see a background that has the topic of the conversation today?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. So, like I was saying, the topic is, I believe there's been a series of probably relevant topics that aligns with this because it says 3.0. So I'm assuming this is a series of, I mean, lectures that has accumulated to this point. So
Yes.
I will start by, okay. So what we intend to first, we'll make our intentions. We ask Allah that He makes this gathering a beneficial one for us. We ask that we all are able to discern from whatever we hear from here, and that we are able to apply it into our respective life, and that we are able to be a productive person in every space of our life. So some of the core learning outcomes that I am hoping to share from the topic you guys have given me is first, I'm hoping that by the end of this session, we will be able to define, I mean, and identify the differences between critical thinking and how to use it in practical life examples. So that's one. I'm hoping that before by the end of this program, everyone would be equipped with that knowledge. Also, that we'll be able to identify some of the barriers that kind of impede our ability to think effectively as a human person, and that we'll be able to recognize the connection between our emotional intelligence and our sound judgment, our critical thinking ability. Then we would also like apply some of the frameworks that we can apply in, making better decisions and not being emotional or whatever in our decision making process. I think one of the most difficult tasks in life is decision making. Then finally, I'm hoping that we'll be able to demonstrate, how we can, question ourselves or question other people's assumptions, how we can test our skills to be sure that, okay, I think I'm a critical thinking person, or hopefully. So before I proceed, I just want to be clear that I'm not an expert in this field. I tried to make some research in preparing this document and sharing some of my own findings while exploring what to talk about in this topic. So whatever I'm saying here is not coming from a place of expertise. It's just coming from a place of series of research and stuffs online that I think aligns with what I'm thinking might be right. So feel free to question my assumptions and correct me if you don't disagree with any of the things that I'll be sharing here. So before we actually go further, I was hoping that someone here would be able to tell me what they understand by critical thinking and how it I mean, whatever you know about it, what does it mean to you? Have you heard it before? Are you familiar with it? Anything that you know about it, I would really appreciate if someone could share. Please feel free to unmute yourself, have your camera on. Let's make it a dialogue and not a one-way traffic, please. I really appreciate that.
And mom, they can use their mic. Okay.
What?
Sorry, that's a mistake. So please, a volunteer.
Yeah, anyone, please. Let's make it very fast. We're not going to judge anyone. It's not a right or wrong platform. It's just for us to learn from ourselves. So, yeah. Yes, please go ahead. I see someone's hand. Oh, Yusuf. I don't know if it's the Yusuf I know, but let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to entertain one or two people. Very short response. Please go ahead. If you're speaking, I can't hear you if you're speaking. Okay.
No. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.
Walaikum, walaikum salam. Okay, it's you. Okay, hypothesis confirmed. Yes, please tell us whatever you think critical thinking is. I'm not getting a response. Anybody else? I see Mikhail Mohammed. Your hands are up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
You can.
Yes.
Okay. So I said is the ability to analyze information objectively and evaluate, critically evaluate likely outcome of your analysis. That's my
Thank you for sharing.
understanding.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Anybody else? Just one more person.
All right, Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes. Walaikum salam.
All right, all right. So what I actually understand by critical thinking is trying to prefer a solution to a real world problem by understanding and getting aware of the what leads to that problem, and that's what I think I understand by critical thinking. Being aware of what to do to provide a solution. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Idris. So I really appreciate those that have indicated, and if you're not able to talk, it's not anything about you. We just have a very limited time. So thank you for those that said something about it. I align with every definition that you've given critical thinking, and I just want to try to emphasize a couple points. So, if you look at how critical thinking is perceived in the world, there's a level of academia in the definition of critical thinking. People believe that critical thinking is typically much more popular, especially in fields that are very process driven, let's say in research and development, in maybe they're making new discovery about drugs or clinical treatment. There's this heavy assumption that critical thinking is very academic. If we look through it, and that wherever you're using logic analysis and you're trying to follow a scientific process of refining your idea, making observations and stuff like that, there's this assumption that critical thinking is only relevant in that space, but it's not true. Every day of our life, we all use that tool of critical thinking. When we are deciding what to wear in the morning, we're like, okay, you have to think critically. Okay, what's the weather today? Well, it might not be applicable in some places, but if you live in a place that's heavily weather um, unstable, you're like deciding, okay, what clothes should I wear today? What's the weather? The first thing you're thinking of is it going to rain today? Is it going to be cold? Will it be hot? So in one way or the other, we are always making decisions based on, assumptions, data, whatever we know around us. We are choosing to, maybe if you want to lose weight, you are choosing to either have a bowl of ice cream or a plate of a vegetable salad. So all of those trade-offs that we make, we actually think before we make those decisions. We are not just like autopilots, just doing things. So I'm just trying to show us how critical thinking is not only in assumed serious scenarios. It's also plays off in our day-to-day decisions, how we manage our emotions, how we question the assumptions that we have about things. Like for example, I saw someone status a few days ago that says it's raining and it's sunning, and say, oh, in Nigeria they say that ekumbimo. And it was so funny the way she wrote it on her WhatsApp status, like ekumbimo, like, is this really true? So some of these assumptions and probably historical things that we grew up to know and believe. So critical thinking is you like trying to vet your assumption. Is this even true or just make believe? I mean, is this really happening? So all of those things are like stakes where we actually use our critical thinking skill. So we are breaking down complex problems. We are managing components. We're like, okay, what is this? We're piecing things together. We're like, okay, what's the outcome? If I do this, what's the outcome? If I don't do this, what's the outcome? So all of those um ways that we use that skill is critical thinking, and it's the application in our real world example. So I just want to share before we go ahead. I would like 2 or 3 volunteers, because this is going to be a very interactive session where we'll be asking questions, sharing what we think is right and what we think is not, based on our own perspective. So I want you to kind of think of a time when you or someone, I know we all have some friends that we feel like, well, this person is very intelligent. Like, this is my very intelligent go-to person. They can solve problem. They are this, they are that. We all have that one person. Identify that person. Think about a time when you and that person made a surprisingly poor decision about anything. So you're going to be sharing that decision, that poor decision you made, and what you think went wrong. You understand, with that person. So you have the option of going with question 1 or question 2. That's question 1. Your question 2 is, share a decision that you made yourself that you feel like, oh, I'm very proud that I made this decision. Like, I'm so proud of myself for making this decision, and share with us one decision that you made that you kind of regret. Then tell us what's the difference in your thought process when you made that decision that you're proud of, and you also made one that you are probably regretting. So please, let's be vocal. Let's share. Sharing stuff like this allows us to understand that whatever you think is going on with you or you have is not just a you problem, it's a universal problem. We are all human having all of these experiences. So it kind of helps us to strengthen our belief also, and to know that we are doing it right. So I would love any volunteers, whatever question you want to pick from this two, the first or the second, then you share what those things are. I'm expecting our hands up so that I can call people in. I would really appreciate that. Please, let's share experiences. I mean, Bubualati, I'm sure everyone on this platform is probably above 20 years of age. So we've had at least 20 years of life experience. So from all of that, let's share. Yeah. I'm waiting for us. I'm not seeing anybody. I'm only seeing myself. Oh. Akib Tech, please go ahead. Thank you. I think someone raised their hand. Please go ahead and speak. Okay. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'll be going with the second question, and that's a decision that was made after learning about value chain or value addition as far as the Greek is concerned. So then I had that thought that okay, beyond the use of hoe and cutlasses, I think agriculture should be able to expand into that system where you do not even have to engage in you do not have to engage with the heartening but you can easily sit at the comfort of your zone, I mean, at your comfort and still make your money. So fast forward to learning about value addition. Then the value addition was on maize. For no proper learning about making pap powder. Yeah. It was me trying to venture into making pap powder.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no the deep learning about the processing. But I do understand that okay, these are the steps to take for you to be able to achieve the pap powder. So after putting in not so much money into that, there was a need for drying. Like drying is part of the process after milling the whole maize or the grain. So rather than making the drying at room temperature, it was exposed to sunlight, which caused the whole production to fail. Now, this is just as much as the decision was there to say, yes, I was going to venture into value addition in agriculture and all, and the zeal was there. The process, I mean, the normal learning that was supposed to pass through, I did not, thinking the social media was there for me to actually learn through and make the progress I intend to achieve in the long run. So the front and the back of it did not end up as expected.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a very insightful experience, and I'm sure you will not make that mistake again because it must have been costly for you. Thank you for sharing that. I see another hand up. Idris Abdusalam, please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. So let me start from I'll be going with the option two. So and let me
Okay.
start with the one a decision I regret, and that was when I did what's it called a scholarship program, I think 3 or 4 years ago, which to be given admission after the diploma course, a scholarship admission to study information technology. But after the diploma course, I was able to pass through the cutoff marks and I was given the scholarship to study at IOU, which is an online Islamic university. But then also I wrote my jump and I want to study pharmacy, but I was given chemistry. So, but there's someone who actually like told me to just continue with my information technology at IOU and just abandon and leave the admission given to me at University of Ilorin. But I should I say because of I'm not self-aware, like lack of self-awareness. I was like, no. I also want to enter university, seeing my friends and colleagues going to school, seeing like living home, talking about hostel, school life, and all. So that's what I focus on. I'm not thinking beyond after school or after studying what I actually want to study. So you get so, and for that reason, I lost that scholarship because I couldn't, balance both the scholarship and University of Ilorin. And later on, I couldn't even finish University of Ilorin because I later dropped out because of finance constraints and all. So and the best decision I could say I actually make is being part of IOTB Tech to learn website development because if at all I've like I did that what's it called information technology, I would have been where I want to be by now. I think I get my points now because I later discovered that okay, doing web development will actually give me the chance to actually achieve most of my dreams, which is financial freedom, time freedom, and it I can actually apply it to whatever thing I want to do, like anything in life, just to improve and create solution and solve problems. So that so lack of self-awareness. So if I'm to tell someone, if I have someone now that is me like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I'll just say that whatever you want to do, like whatever you want to do, or whatever you find yourself doing now, just keep doing it and put in your best to it, even though you don't know where it will lead to. Just make sure you make something count out of it and don't just
Beautiful.
abandon it. And later on, you guys find out what we are like count on it and benefit from it.
Beautiful.
Sha. So that's it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful. Very beautiful insight. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's very real. I would have loved someone to share a decision that they're proud of. I know we've heard two regrets, but let's share the good news as well. If there's anyone that has anything that they can think back to and be like, oh, I'm very happy that I made this decision. I have no regrets. I'm happy. I achieved what I intended to achieve when I made that decision. If we can have that one story that will be, a flip of whatever we've heard so far, will be really great. Yes, please go ahead, Ravia.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum
Yes,
salam.
one of the decision I have made and I think I'm very proud of and it has contributed positively to my life was the fact that when I finished my ND, my result was delayed. I couldn't proceed faster to my HND. My brother then advised me to opt for another job and process university. When I was processing university, I opted for HND form. My result was ready, and I was given admission when I was in HND one. I was given admission for university. So the decision to make were very, very difficult. Which one should I? Should I continue my HND and just forfeit the admission? But alhamdulillah, I accepted the admission, and I could proudly say today I have grown not only in wisdom, in everything, for accepting that admission and studying the course I'm studying in University of Ibadan. For example, this Timsan, while I was in Polytechnic, I was not really active yet. I didn't even join Timsan, but I joined during my university and I've been growing, not only spiritually, academically, and morally. Alhamdulillah for that decision.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, Rabia, for sharing that. I love that testimony. I'm seeing Kishki's hand up. Go ahead and share your positive or whatever experience you want to give us. Let us hear from you.
Salam alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa
All
alaikum
right.
salam.
So good to be here and a very good way to end the week. Um, it's giving us this kind of opportunity, right, to even express some of these things is also a way for us to build this team. So we appreciate that. One of the decisions that I have made in my life that it's one of the best that I've made so far. And the interesting thing is you were also part of the decision making process. All right,
Okay.
the decision, one of the best decision of my life that's it's the decision had affected every other thing that follows. Even this program that we are having here. The decision was that when my first daughter was she was when she was 1 year old. So I had a job then, and yes, if you want to look for a definition of a very busy person, I was one of such kind of people. So there was a day I just had a conversation with a customer, and after that conversation, I just dropped my headset inside the call center. I just dropped my headset. I told myself, I'm not doing this job again.
Hmm.
And I had to call few of my friends to I had to call few of my friends to tell them that look, I'm not doing this job again. And my friends, including you, they were critical people. So they had to ask me why. And they challenged me to convince them that look, you are married, you have a kid, and you just want to stop. Why don't you just wait and apply for a new job, get a new job before resigning? So we had that back and forth conversation. I had this conversation with about five of my friends, like two of my mentors included. And what I told them was, you know what, this job, at this point in my career, I know what I need to know, but this job is not giving me that time to focus on what I need to know. The next question one of them asked me was, well, how do you want to take care of your family? So I told them that I need 6 months to focus. I need 6 months to focus. I need 6 months to go on a fellowship. So I told them that Then I used to teach. Teaching was part of my side gig. I know it's not something that comes constantly, but I know that I have a very strong circle of friends that would never watch me and my family go hungry. Like I have friends. So what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying this is go and work on your circle. Oh. I have friends that if I tell them that I'm hungry, they would remain unsettled till I get something to eat. So I was also very, by Allah, I was also very sure of that. So I told them that yes, I have my side gig to do. I trust in Allah. And the mandate, all of my friends, the mandate they gave me was that before these 6 months, you must get a well-paid job or well-paying job. I said, okay, that's fine. So I kept that at the back of my mind and I focused on what I need to know. And trust me, before the end of that 6 months, I think at the fourth month, I got a better job that was paying me like times three of I what I dropped, what I was earning before I dropped the job. And trust me, those 6 months of my life, they were one of the best. And trust me, I can say it by Allah. This is just thanking Allah. By Allah, it was during those 6 months I got the inspiration and the idea of these fellowship programs that we are having. So, thank you. I don't know. Thank you.
Well, I don't even know what to say, but I was expecting that feeling of nostalgic, it's like you're bringing back memories of a couple of years back. So it's strange and quite emotional, but alhamdulillah that we are here today, and alhamdulillah that we can look back and think that okay, whatever we were doing then that we knew was stupid, because we used to call ourselves stupid, and knowing that those decisions actually could become something that one would look back and say Alhamdulillah for. That's a very beautiful reflection personally for me. Thank you for sharing that, Kishki. I see Zainab's hand. Zainab, I know we are running out of time. I would allow you to share your experience, but if you could make it really fast, it would be great. Thank you. Zainab, are you still with us? I would assume that you are not. Um, Inshallah, if we get a chance, you can share with us again. So I have two videos here that I was hoping that would watch. Let me play the first one. Yeah, I may have to like 1 second. What's going on? It's not okay.
A chocolate teapot.
Can you still
An ashtray
see
on a
my
motorbike.
screen before I go ahead? Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, I can.
and the
So
video
am I
is
showing a YouTube video?
Yes, and we can hear the
Yes.
sounds too.
yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. Just want to be sure. This is a video that shows us 4 inventions that changed the world.
The underwater hairdryer. Some inventions are non-starters. Good ideas, on the other hand, are a little harder to come by, but sometimes having a brilliant idea isn't enough. Just ask Douglas Engelbart. You've probably never heard of Douglas Engelbart. You're more likely to have heard of Steve Jobs. Here's why. In 1960 at the Stanford Research Institute, Engelbart, a student of electrical engineering, noted that the way people were interacting with their new computers was inefficient. A combination of chunky keyboards and clunky joysticks, Engelbart thought he could do better. His solution to this was a device that controlled an on-screen cursor named the bug via 2 perpendicular wheels from afar. And it was a brilliant idea. In 1966, NASA trialed Engelbart's invention and found it one of their more efficient pieces of technology. 2 years later, alongside his fellow inventor Bill English, Douglas showcased something called the mouse to a 1,000-strong San Francisco crowd in what became known within industry circles as the mother of all demos. Engelbart and English had a smash hit on their hands. Their mouse was the next big thing. Only, it wasn't. 5 years later, Engelbart lost his funding, and many key members of his team, including Bill English, left Stanford to work for Xerox. And in 1979, a man you may have heard of offered Xerox shares in his company in exchange for eyes on their research center. That man was Steve Jobs. The company was Apple, and the research center yielded the mouse. Jobs loved the idea so much that legend has it he had a team of engineers immediately stop what they were working on in order to rebuild, streamline, and ultimately relaunch the mouse as an Apple product. The Stanford Research Institute owned the original patent, meaning Engelbart never saw any of the profit from future sales of these mice. Engelbart's thinking was ahead of his time, but sometimes a good idea just needs someone like Jobs with the force of personality to see it through. Somebody with the ability to see beyond what's directly in front of them, those who can dream a little. Take Stephanie Kwolek, for example. Here was a talented chemist with a passion for fabrics and textiles who, through her research into synthetic fibers, discovered a solution stronger than steel but as light as fiberglass. We call her invention Kevlar, and today it appears in tires, oven gloves, bulletproof vests, spacesuits, and spacecraft. But when Stephanie first developed this crystallized, cloudy liquid, colleagues refused to spin it for her, fearing it would clog up their machines. It was 1965 when Kwolek was dreaming up her super-strength fibers. A decade earlier, filmmaker Morton Heilig had dreamed of creating an immersive sensorial experience for a cinema audience. And so, in 1957, he created the Sensorama, a 3D video machine that let audiences experience riding a motorbike via vibrating seats and wind machines, or watch a belly dancer perform with cheap perfume pumped into the auditorium. Heilig had grand ambitions, and he pitched his Sensorama to Henry Ford as a revolutionary show tool. The future was there for the taking. Only it wasn't, because nobody, including Ford, wanted to buy it. The Sensorama ended up beneath a tarpaulin in Heilig's back garden. Morton was undeterred. 3 years after the first Sensorama, he patented the Telesphere Mask, a 3D video headset. Viewed from today, one can sketch a direct path from Heilig's mask to the Oculus Rift, and a virtual reality industry that is expected to be worth $170 billion by the year 2022. Sadly though, Morton Heilig will not be a part of it. He died in 1997, before VR found an audience in its current form. No perfume required. Heilig, like Engelbart before him, had the right idea at the wrong time. Wilson Greatbatch, on the other hand, was exactly where he needed to be and when. Wilson wanted to listen to and record the human heart. He failed, spectacularly. When attempting to record the heart's electrical impulses, Wilson chose the wrong size resistor. Instead of recording, his machine started to give out an electrical pulse of its own. Greatbatch was not listening to the heart, he was speaking to it. Wilson Greatbatch had just accidentally invented the pacemaker. His mistake would save millions of lives over the next 60 years and continues to do so, after he'd tested it out on a couple of dogs. Suffice to say, it worked. Greatbatch's company today still manufactures 90% of all pacemaker batteries made worldwide. The man himself lived to a ripe old age, his heart never missing a beat in 92 years. As Henry Ford himself once mused, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Just a shame he never bought that Sensorama when he had the chance.
Right. So, I'm not sure if we followed through, but if we listened carefully, would see that the videos tried to show us some of the inventions that people have made and that are like, groundbreaking. Everybody now uses a mouse. So people use the VR to view virtual reality things, and it's all a fun thing and all. Also, pacemaker machine that is being placed in people's hearts for them to kind of, keep their heart pumping. So we can see the contrast between the people that build these inventions or with the first brain behind it and the ripple effect of their reward for it. So for some people, they were lucky. I mean, like the pacemaker machine maker, he benefited from his invention. But that is not the case with a couple of them where they had brilliant ideas, but for some reason it did not work. So if we can kind of summarize what we've learned from that video, I would have loved for us to watch this too, but we don't have that much time. So I would skip this, we'll limit to this, the one that we've watched so far. If we have someone that followed through with that video, can you share some of the things that you think made some of these products fail and what made the other one successful? I know we've watched it and the video implied it, but I would like for us to say it in our own understanding, what we took away from that video. Please go ahead if you have something to share. Let's raise our hands. If we've really followed the video, I want to assume we did. Otherwise, let me know if I'm just talking to myself.
Sorry, can you please raise your hands? Okay, you have Bello Razak.
Yeah, please, Bello, go ahead. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
So yeah, from what I just watched from the video, so I noticed that the major person, which is the inventor, who actually made the mouse. So like the achievement was in silence. So the person who was credited with the achievement was Steve Jobs. So from what I could see from the video.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else that wants to share what they took away from that video? Is there anything that is missing from what was shared that we think would have, if it was done differently, it would have been better for the inventors?
Any takers?
Please, let's bring our critical thinking hats and let's show that, you know, we get the gist. By the way,
Can I go?
this is, yes, please go ahead, Latifa, right?
Yes, ma.
Yes,
Okay, for
please
me,
go
I
ahead.
think is yes, even though they had the idea and not enough people to support those ideas, if they had enough resources and proper foresight on how the invention would go about, it would have given them the right push to like to better polish the ideas. Like that's over. I don't know how best I can explain that, but yes, you have the idea, you have people that support that idea or the vision, and you have the resources to carry out those visions. It's just like that's just all of the push you have. You have the money, the time, the influence. It just give you the right push, and then you are out in the world. Yeah, thank you. That's my take.
Thanks for sharing, Latifa. Really appreciate that. Yeah, there's that. There's the fact that having the right people in your circle. This is still gonna, I will take back from what Kishki said about, oh, I have friends that I could talk to. I believe what was missing from the guy that invented the mouse was a Steve Jobs. If he had someone like that in a circle, maybe it would have, you know, worked for him. Also with the VR machine, you know, sometimes you just need that one person in your on your side, and that's it. So it's just trying to show us that sometimes intelligent people get unlucky. That there's a part of being unlucky, and also there's the part of intelligence does not mean making good decision. If we had watched this video, I'll probably share this material with us. If you watch this video, this other video talks about some tech products that failed, like really failed. And you would see how the pattern of decision, some people are like, oh, overconfidence in their technical solutions. Like, I know my stuff, I created this, I know it's gonna sell. At the end of the day, it was not selling. So the reason I'm sharing this is to show us that decision making in itself is a skill. And if we, you know, as Muslims, if you look back and think of the first prayer in the Quran in itself is a prayer of guidance. And guidance in itself leads to better decisions. So how do you know that whatever decision you are making right now is the best? You don't know. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you know when you're equipped with, you know, probably all the facts, you've seen clearly that this would not work. Sometimes you don't see it. You assume it's going to work and you try it. If Allah wills, it works. If otherwise, it doesn't work. But This is where the difference in, are you making a decision critically or you are making emotional decisions? This is where it plays out for some people. It might be difficult to, the line can be blurry between decisions that you're making emotionally or decisions that you're making based on, real thought process. You've put thought into it, you've probably prayed about it, and all of those things that you need to do. Thanks for those that shared what they took away from this. I will share the next slide. So I was hoping that, I don't know how much, so maybe I should ask, I don't know how much time we have for this session, but I have a lot of case studies and examples, because I feel like the best way to actually learn from something like this is by reviewing a lot of case studies. So there's an experiential learning. You can learn from your own mistakes, but there's also an opportunity for you to learn from other people's mistake. And I think I prefer the other one. I don't want to learn from my own mistake. I want to learn from other people's mistakes so that I don't make that mistake myself. So there's this smart post paradox that happens a lot in, everyday life. We see very intelligent people, very high IQ individuals. They're making really stupid mistakes. They do stupid things, and you're like, oh no, not you. Why would you do something like that? When someone is like, it shouldn't be you. I mean, this is obvious. Maybe, probably someone that thinks they have a lower IQ than the person would see the fault. Like, it's going to be so clear to them. Like, obviously, this is not going to work. What are you telling me? How can you think this would work? So in this case, I have two case studies. Would watch, it's another video. Watch this video, and we would see how, let me see, this is not sure. Okay, got it. So the Terranos is actually a very big case that's happening in the US right now. Sorry about that, but it's a long, we're not gonna watch all of it. Just the first 5 minutes, yeah.
But there's no sound.
Hello, the sound is off.
Yeah, sorry, someone was saying something.
Yes,
There's no
the
The
sound.
sound
sound
is
was
off.
off.
The sound is
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, let me do it again. I'm sorry. Let me do it again. I'm sorry. That's actually a very interesting video I would like us
Could,
to watch. Is it better
could you
now?
possibly maximize the screen, please?
Okay. Is it okay? Is it better now?
Fine, yeah.
Okay.
so right, but
It
the sound
is.
is still off.
Hello, Shelley. I'm sharing my sound. Yeah, I'm sharing my sound. And let me do it again. Include sound. Yeah. Okay, let me know if it works now.
And goals in 2003.
Okay, it's working
It's
now.
just an incredible morality.
Is it working now?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
Thank you. Okay.
Detail.
A woman once hailed as a Silicon Valley visionary is facing federal fraud charges tonight.
Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes has now officially been indicted on federal wire fraud charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office accusing her of engaging...
Imagine building a company that everyone thought would change the world, but ended up being one of the biggest frauds in history. Theranos, the company started in 2003 by Stanford dropout Elizabeth Holmes, was just that. They fooled everyone, receiving over $600 million of funding in the process. What Theranos promised was a revolutionary blood analyzer that could run hundreds of tests just from a finger prick in the comfort of your own home. However, this story isn't one of great success or inspiration. This story is about deceit, fraud, manipulation, and a CEO who would stop at nothing to get her goal. This is the story of Theranos, a company once worth $9 billion, and the story of how it all came crashing down in one of the worst disasters in Silicon Valley history. What exactly was Theranos, and how did it go so horribly wrong?
Okay, so I think we get the gist. A lady invented this idea of I can create a sample technology that if you test your blood, it can tell all the diseases that you have. It can do wonders, and a lot of people, bought that idea. Now, there's a second video. 1 second. Second, yeah. The segue. We'll talk about both in a minute.
This is Usain Bolt. We all know him as the fastest man on Earth, but right after winning the man's 200-meter final of the IAAF World Championship in Beijing, he tripped over by a cameraman. But what caught the attention was the two-wheeled electric vehicle he was riding. On that day, Bolt added another big title to his name, but the vehicle company started facing tough times. We are talking about Segway, a source of terror behind every minor yet funny mishap. Think back in 2001 and you'd find tons of people who just wanted to try a Segway. But by 2020, the Segway had not only missed its sales targets, but also became a laughingstock in Silicon Valley for betraying famous people like the former US president to its own business owner. Well, we were all supposed to be riding a self-balancing two-wheeled scooter by now. The company could have been rolling in cash, but so far it has rolled are the subjects who ride or rode them, from shaking off the person to a sidewalk to bumping the rider with a few drags in the middle of the road. It looks funny, but the person overgoing such a sinister roller coaster ride can feel the pain of being loosened from the vehicle. So, was there any technological flaw that Segway couldn't catch? Or was the company so excited that it overlooked all those necessary adjustments that Segway must adapt to? How the most hyped company faced this massive failure when e-bikes and scooters were selling like hotcakes worldwide. This is where we'll explore the nitty-gritty of this troublemaker, where funny bumps are more likely to be inevitable.
Why did Amazon send me $20,000? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to
send you. I'm done with this. Let me stop sharing. Okay, so we've watched two videos. One is showing us a terrible mistake that, well, I won't call it a mistake. I would say a fraudulent case. So Elizabeth Holmes it's actually a very hot legal case in the US, and I think a judgment was passed about her. Can you still see my screen? Please let me know. No.
So you stop sharing.
Yes. So I'm sharing it again. So for the first case study, I'm talking about this lady. So I think she got 11 years imprisonment. Last year, October, her case was finally decided on. And from what we saw, she's obviously a very smart lady, Stanford product, well, dropout. She had this vision of, I can revolutionize blood testing, and I can do this with just a sample test. The blood would tell you all the diseases, pretty beautiful invention if we look at it like from the medical solution side of things. But unfortunately, it was fraudulent because she was lying about everything. She was not doing anything. She was altering the result of the test to give people false results. But the funny thing is she was able to raise a huge amount of money, over $600 million in funding for the product. Like a lot of rich people were like hyping that and invested in it. This is the, revolutionary. When AI was coming, how everybody was hyped about it. That was the level of hype that she had with the products she was selling. But unfortunately, it was fraudulent. And if we look at the list of people that actually invested in our products, there are people that you would not expect to make such, investment without vetting it. Like a past president was a former, an investor. She had a lot of traction with the idea, only for them to find out that it was not, it was not going to sell. It was a fraud. She was using an existing product in the market to test. She just tweaked it a little bit and, honed it as her own property. So it's my takeaway from this case study actually is that there is okay, before I say what I take away from it, I want to put it across to you guys to tell me what you learned from that. Now look at the segue. the Segway guy has this revolutionary transport system. We all know how this whole Segway hype is. I mean, this two-wheeler thing is very popular. If you are in the West, especially, you find people using all this in their roadworks. I know a lot of people living in places like New York or Los Angeles. These are really big cities that you can't even own a car. Owning a car is not a luxury, it's a burden. So stuff like that really sell because people want to move from point A to point B, and this would help them to move faster. Now, despite all of this brilliant engineering and solution, that product failed. So I would like, I'll be sharing this. Yeah, I think I heard someone say something. If you need to stop me, let me know. Hello?
Play glitch.
Oh, okay. Just want to be sure. Okay. Yeah. So my point is, from both of these cases, we find intelligent people making stupid mistakes. Intelligent in this case is not just on the part of the inventor, but also the people that invested in it and like how popular it was. You'd be like, how would people like this put money in this kind of a product? They should have seen that this was a flaw. They should have known that this is not going to work. But in reality, it just tells us that intelligent people make stupid mistakes. They make really poor decisions. You can have a very high IQ and make really stupid mistakes. That's someone without an average IQ would not make. But what I was trying to showcase in both video literally is for us to kind of find, if we can, if you're following through, what biases can we identify? What do we think people did not do? And this is going to lead us to identifying some of our own biases when we are making decisions and how it clouds our judgment. So personally, for me, my takeaway from the Theranos phenomenon was that that device was, they did not allow that device to go through a lot of iterative tests. Before you launch something, you want to have several tests. You want to make sure a lot of people try that product. You get your results, you refine your results, make adjustments, consider your users. Like go through series of iterative process where you're like, okay, we're good to go. I feel like if that was really done before the launch, it would have been caught early that this is not real, this is a fraud. So that's my personal observation from Terrano. So it means that there's a kind of a confirmation bias, and this is, when confirmation bias in this case is for those that invested. So it's like, oh, she's a Stanford product. People would think, oh, Stanford people are smart. So let me just put my money there. It's the same way we feel about Elon Musk and all that. They're like, oh, it's Tesla. Let me buy that stock because it's the hype. So that's the perspective I see from this scenario. Also, there is the authority bias, like, oh, if this person is on the group, then I can invest. So for example, if people like this Microsoft guy invest in this Elizabeth products, people like us will feel like, of course, for Bill Gates to invest, that must be a really great product. Maybe I want to buy that stock too. For this person to invest there, that must be. So there's that bias that we have. Like if we have certain belief in some people, if they do something, we see that thing as a model for us too. Then there is the bias of, oh, I've already invested money, but it's not going well. Oh, let me just leave it there. Maybe it will go well. So we're like denying the obvious thing. We all have where this shows up for us, like individually as a person. Now, for the Segway, my personal observation from the Segway situation is, I feel like they were overconfident in the solution that they were selling, and it was expensive. So if we had a chance to watch it to the end, we'll see that the cost of this Segway bike was literally close to the amount of a used car if you want to buy a used car. So it was being sold for at least $5,000 to $10,000 within that price range. Like, how will I buy a two-wheeler to move from point A to point B if I can buy a four-wheel car? I mean, the price was not connecting. So what happened when this Segway thing became popular was rich people were buying it to flaunt. In fact, I think Steve Jobs was one of the first buyers for this segue thing. Everybody was hyping it. People in Silicon Valley were feeling, you know how rich people sometimes think they want to be the first to own something and give that hype. So they did not look at the market's viability. Like, will this thing sell in the market? Can the average American or whoever afford this? If you are expecting people to buy a two-wheeler movement machine at $5,000, and you can also really get a second used car or third used car for that same amount of money, what are you telling me? You're not making sense. So there's also safety concern. We can see from that video, a lot of people were falling. I actually laughed at some of those videos where people were just tripping off and falling from. I mean, I feel like those kind of things would have been observed if there were the features were really like tested over a series of iterations. Like, let's see if we're doing the right thing. Let's make sure we're not making mistakes. So it was like over ambitious hype, like, oh, we're doing something revolutionary and we're going to be like, in fact, yeah, I read an article that says Steve Jobs said that this Segway device is like an invention that looks like the internet. Imagine him comparing a two-wheeler ride with the revolution of the internet. So if people hear someone like Steve Jobs saying something like that, they will not doubt it because they'll be like, Steve Jobs, of course, he's a smart guy. He can't make a mistake like that. He knows what he's saying. So there is that bias that we all have. So that's what I wanted to share. I want to hear from anyone that was following. If what I said resonates or anything extra that you want to add when you think of products around you, just look around you and look at product and be like, is this really a revolutionary product? Just share whatever you think you took away from that video. Please go ahead. I see someone's hand up. Zainab.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so for I would like to talk on the perspective of those who invested. So this is to say that as humans, we are emotional beings, and sometimes when we make our decisions, we make it from an emotional perspective, and we try as much as possible to ignore the difficult questions that might query if whatever decisions we are making is right or wrong. So I think that is one thing I can say as regard the those who invested, despite like seeing the red flags. You know, I may perhaps the lady who brought in that fake solution is like selling to investors based on their emotions. So and humans we like to like buy or make decisions based on emotions and then try and justify later with critical thinking. And I think critical thinking should like come first when it comes to like making decisions as such. And for the case of the other solution, the transportation solution that failed, it is to say that I think we have something similar that is currently going on in healthcare, where we have many startups here in Nigeria coming up with various solutions to address healthcare issues in Nigeria. And when we look at these solutions, they really do not fit the reality of the problems that we face. So I think it is one major reason why problems like this fail. So that's all I have to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that, Zaina. I really appreciate the insight. Yeah, go ahead, Idris.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. So I'll be talking from the angle where you talk about those that actually invent, like not thinking critically about the limit of what they're inventing. Like, can this be actually be afforded by an average person? So take for example, now as a web developer, or you trying to invent something, you're trying to provide a solution to something. Take for example now, the kind of what's you call Lagos economy is different from, let's say, for example, Ilorin. And you being a developer in Ilorin and you are trying to say, okay, you want to develop what's you call maybe a fintech app, or maybe like something that is much more useful in Lagos than Ilorin, whereby in Ilorin maybe you have so much agricultural going on, we have real estate going on, we have all these things. So trying to think critically about your environment, what is that I can build, not just about the noise about this thing, but what solution can this actually, like what problem can this actually solve? Then after thinking about that, then the next thing is, okay, what limits, or like who are those that can afford this, and what limit can this goes to? If whatever you're investing cannot be affordable by an average person, then I think it's not really what's it called, providing the solution needed to some extent. So I think from the side of those that invent also, not thinking critically on that also actually affects whatever we invent. So that's just my thoughts on that. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate those that are sharing their, understanding from the videos. And I very much agree with all you've been saying about the loopholes that were not really considered on both the inventors side and also the investors. So yeah, that's beautiful. So the reason I'm stressing all this point is it's if we look through it, we are kind of seeing our own biases as human beings. We're noting that, okay, people can make mistakes. So the next slide here will be addressing how we sabotage ourselves in the way we think. Like what barriers show up for us that allow people to make mistakes. You've mentioned some of it, not thinking of the environment where your product is going to be launched at. That's one thing. That's user experience. Who are your users? So obviously they were not considering their users. You also mentioned the unrealistic expectations of some investors to think that, oh, it's just like saying that, oh, in Nigeria now they want to bring cars that would be using electric. It's not realistic. We don't even have a stable electric supply. How do you expect people to use that kind of a product in such an economy? So I really like those insights. So what I'm sharing here is just a couple of things that kind of hijack our ability to think critically. So there's a lot of them, but I will focus on these 5. We have our urgency bias. Like, let me just share the next slide, which is like, yeah. So urgency bias, this shows up for us. Everyone has it. We are like, oh, I need to do this right now. I just have to do this. Maybe I know that currently in the Nigerian investment space, there's a lot of hype about buying stocks. I'm seeing it on Twitter trend. Everybody's talking about buying stocks in the Nigerian market. Some stocks are actually not viable. They're just noise. If you buy it, you lose your money. But because everyone is doing it, you feel like I just have to do it right now. That's on one side. So the way this shows up for us is we're like prioritizing it. We want to do it right now. I want it really like right now. I cannot wait. So one of the methods to kind of catch yourself when you are in that, if you're able to catch yourself, because not everyone can. So when you find yourself making decisions that are like based on urgency, there's this Eisenhower matrix that people use in making decisions. We use it a lot in product. So for example, if as a product manager, someone raises a ticket and like, oh, we need to fix this issue that customers are having when they're making payments. So naturally you want to create a feature for it. Let's deploy, let's make this change immediately and fix this problem immediately. No, you cannot. So what you need to do first is it an urgent thing? Is it important? Do we have a roadmap? So there's so many things that goes into decision making that allows you not to fall into the urgency bias mistake. So this Eisenhower metric works in a way like you need to identify, okay, is this issue urgent and is it important? If it's urgent and important, then you have to do it immediately. If it is important but is not urgent, you can schedule. So for example, it is important for me to, let me say, important for me to, I'm looking for a daily daily activity that, you have to do and, it's important, but you only say like, okay, I'll do it at another time. Let's say, for example, yeah, I'm thinking of something. I can't think of anything, but if anyone has an idea, it might be good. I'm thinking of something that is important but not urgent. Okay. one thing that I can think of right now is maybe my car is giving me a check engine light. So my check engine light is showing up in my car. I know it's urgent, but I'm going to the office. I cannot go to the mechanic first. I need to get to the office. Well, I'm assuming my car will not break down before I get to the office. So to avoid me not missing a sort of let's say to avoid me not missing getting to the office on time, I can schedule to go for my car fix after work while I still go to the office. It's not a perfect example. I'm thinking of something else, but my brain is not connecting it yet. So that's one example I can think of because I do that. When my car shows any, I'm like, well, I'll do it over the weekend. This is something like that. Then there are examples of things that are urgent, but they are not important. So that's why you have people like, hey, I need you to help me with this. I'm currently not able to. So you are able to delegate this task to somebody else. Then if you have things that are not urgent and not important, I beg, eliminate. Don't waste your time. So it's like you wasting your time to I'm thinking of something that is not important and not urgent, something very flimsy that we all do. Yeah, checking people's WhatsApp status. Yeah, that is very relatable. So you don't have to check people's WhatsApp stuff. It's not gonna help you in any way. So for many of us, if you take an inventory of how we spend our 24 hours, we'll find that we spend a lot of time observing what other people are doing, seeing what they're doing on social media, and not just WhatsApp now. This is just like social media generally. You don't need it, but we do it. We find ourselves doing it. And if there is a way for us to kind of have a digital audit of how we all spend our day, we'll find that we are wasting a lot of our time consuming things that have no benefits to us. They are not important. They are not urgent. Why are we all? I don't want to say you because I'm also I'm also, I'm also in that bracket. So we find ourselves doing things like that. So using this matrix helps us to, track where we are investing our energy. Where am I putting my energy into? Is it really something that would favor me or am I just wasting my time? So that's one. The other bias that we have is group thinking. And how this shows up for us is, as we are as a group now. So because we're a group and we are talking about something and we all agree that, let's do this. And we're not thinking if it's going to be productive or good for us, but we are just assuming that if the group decides that we should do it, let's just do it because we're a group. There's blessings in number. We just go ahead and do without like, hey, are we all making the right decision? Are we checking in with ourselves to make sure that the group is not just, we're not doing, how do we say it? Follow. Yeah. You're not just saying things or following things because it's popular. That's it, because it's popular. We don't want to fall into the trap of doing things because some group are doing it. We want to be sure that this is something that if I do it, it's good for me. So in a way to mitigate that is if all the group is saying, let's do this, you can be the devil's advocate and question things like, why are we doing it? Yeah, it's okay to question authorities too. Or you can have within your group, assign people to check and balance your decisions. Hey, you, think of questions that will make us, if you're an opposing party, give us points why we should not do this. Act like an opposing party. Okay, if this idea that we have will die, what do you think will kill it? So we might have a group idea like let me say an example of this medical revolution that someone mentioned earlier. Maybe they don't have that person playing devil's advocate on their team to question, are you sure this will sell? Because it doesn't look like it. So we want to make sure that when we are making decisions, we're not just following the crowd, we are agreeing after a lot of discussion, not just agreeing without discussion. We are not just dismissing criticism. We're like, let's criticize ourselves before other people criticize us. Let's make sure that we get the opinion of everyone on the team and not allow people. Some people are like, if everybody says it's okay, even if they have a contrary opinion, they'll be like, okay, if everybody says it's okay, I'm good with it. But they're not. But because the group does not allow them or create an environment that allows people to question things, everybody, and then after the whole thing has failed, they'll be like, and I had a different opinion, but I just couldn't share it because I don't want to look like I'm the wrong one on the crew, or I don't want them to hate me for that. So we want to make sure that if we find ourselves in positions where people are group thinking, we are playing the devil's advocate. I know I hate that word, devil's advocate, but it's kind of counterintuitive if we look at the whole context. I don't have to be the devil. Maybe I should say angel's advocate so that we don't become the wrong person in the crew. But the point is, we want to make sure that we are constructively challenging ourselves and our own decisions. We are making sure that, okay, are we doing checks and balances? Is someone observing from an external perspective? I think we have something in our company that says lead with an external perspective. I really like that. So it's like, if you're building something that you think is revolutionary, do you think you're the only one that have an idea? No, other people do too. So what can you do differently that others are not thinking? Whatever you think you're doing right now, whatever stellar idea you think you have, trust me, there are better ideas out there. So what makes you stand out? So playing devil's advocate allows you to see things from different angles and then use that perspective to rethink again and refine your ideas. So there is that. We also have the information overload. Oh my God, this one is so real for me personally. It's like too many information out there. Like, I don't know. It's confusing. It's gotten to a point where whatever you think you know, there are a million and one things that are contrary to that. So it allows people to become paralyzed in their decision making because you're like, oh, I want to do this. I've gathered a lot of information about this, but you're not able to make a decision. It's just like you keep analyzing, and never acting. It's just like information is on TikTok, is on Instagram, is on Facebook, it's on WhatsApp, it's on Twitter, it's everywhere. Information is just coming from different angles, and that's how we've become. Unfortunately, we're all consuming a lot of information, and we're not acting. We're just like some people now. If you tell them to talk about a topic, they can talk about it as if they've done it, but they've not. That's even too simple. Some people can cook a food in their head without knowing how to mix it together in real life. It's like we've watched so many food content. We know how to cook food that we've never even tried cooking in real life because we've watched too many informations and there's just too many resources out there to do it, but we've never really done it. So there's that paralysis that shows up for us. You find yourself looking like, so it makes people look like they're experts, but in reality, all they have is information. And what distinguishes someone from, someone of knowledge from someone that acts is what application are you using your knowledge to do? If you're not using it, then it's useless. So some of the mitigation strategy that one can implement is there's this 33 rule that I read in I think 80-20 principle. It's a book that talked about time management and all. And what it says there is identify three things that you want to do. I want to be a product manager. I want to lose weight. I want to probably start journaling. That's it. Don't put too many things there. And for me to do each of this, I'm limiting to 3 resources. So for me to be a product manager, I'm going to interview 2 product manager, 1 junior product manager, 1 senior product manager. That's my action plan for the number 1. Okay, number 2, for me to lose weight, I need to start incorporating exercises in my daily activity, and I need to start eating more vegetables. I'm not going to do more than that. And then for the last one, I need to start journaling. I'm going to write for 5 minutes every day. Simple. But when you start reading how to be a PM with 200 lists of things to do this, do that, this, you get overwhelmed. You will never do anything. But if you limit to, this is the 2-3 things that I will do, that's it. So sieving out information in a way that allows you to focus on just limited thing instead of being dragged by everything. So if you want to do 100 push-ups or 300 squats, you find that if you do it day 1, day 2, by day 3, you won't. By day 10, you'll be like, oh, let me look for another losing weight strategy that would work for me. So analysis paralysis. You will now have so many ideas about how to lose weight. You have so many ideas about how to be a PM. You have so many ideas about how to do so many things, but you're never doing them. So it's always good to, drill down and slim fit your plans. Yeah, that's what I would call it. Just slim fit it and make it concise, short, and realistic so that you can be consistent with it. So there's emotional hijacking too. And this shows up with our biases that we know. Maybe sometimes, like, especially coming from a place like Nigeria, we have a lot of bias. We were born into bias. We were born into it. So our emotional responses to things are like something that I know. So nobody would believe you. So the best way to treat your emotional bias and all is, are you pausing when you feel that that emotion is showing up for you? Pause. Don't do anything. Okay, ask yourself, what am I thinking? Why am I feeling this way? Is it based on something that I already know or based on facts? Or are we just like, oh, my emotion doesn't want it, I'm not going to take it, that's it? No, this. You find people arguing blindly based on emotional facts, nothing to do with anything. And sorry, just give me a second. So that's how emotional hijacking shows up for us. I have 5 more minutes, so I'm gonna try to wrap up as quickly as I can. Then we have our confirmation bias too, and this shows us up in a way where we interpret things based on what we already know. So if what we are hearing is not coming from someone that we know, we respect, we are familiar with, it's always going to be wrong. For example, maybe as a Black person, you don't like white people. I'm sorry, this is not I'm sorry to use that example, but I'm trying to make it relatable as early as I can so that we can finish up on time. It becomes a case where if a white person is talking about something, you're like, nonsense. Because no, if you are maybe a student of one sheikh and another sheikh is saying something, it's easy for you to like, so it's this person. So we all have that confirmation bias, and it shows up for us in many different ways that if we critically, assess ourselves, we'll catch ourselves in how we are, exhibiting some of these assumptions. So I was thinking we'll have more time, but what I want to just quickly touch through here is critical thinking and emotional intelligence connection, how it shows up and how you can know yourself really if you are on one side more than the other is, number one, you need to have self-awareness of yourself. Like, do you understand yourself to know that you have biases and what triggers those biases for you? Then you need to be able to regulate your emotions. Like, okay, I need to think clearly. I cannot allow my emotions to rule whatever I am doing right now. Then you need to consider other people. Like, I'm not the only one that feel this way. People have different experiences, different ideas about things, and that everyone is showing up based on experiences, environmental, whatever we have been made of for the past 20, 30, 40 years that we've been born. That is what we all bring to the table. So if you find people that think one way, that's their component. If you find people that think another way, that's a component. So we're showing up with the baggages of ideas, experiences, exposure, all of those things. We are all showing up, and that's what we are seeing. The way we see, the way we assume, the way we talk, the way we deal with people, those things are very important. That's how you know that, okay, I think I have my own biases. Then how do you manage your relationship with people? Are you someone that you are open to other people's idea, or you're just, this is how I think, this is what I know, and that's it? So some of the decision-making framework that we can use is, number one, we should be able to clarify what problem we are trying to solve. What am I doing? Or what do I need to do? And then who are my audience? So for you to make a decision, you say, okay, I need to decide to lose weight in the next 6 months, because if I don't lose weight, I may have diabetes and I don't want to die because of my kids. In this case, my kids are my stakeholders. So in every decision-making process, you can use this framework to kind of drill down to what exactly you're trying to solve and how exactly you plan to solve it. That's it's called the CLARE method. The CLARE is for clarifying the problem. The L is you make a list of assumptions and tests. Okay, how can I lose weight? What do I need to avoid? What am I taking for granted in my life right now? What lifestyle choices am I making right now that will not allow me to achieve that goal that I intend to achieve. So you make list of assumptions. Then you evaluate. Okay, if I do this for 6 weeks, am I nearing my goal or I'm not? You want to make sure you're evaluating and acting. So you cannot make plans. Don't get too hooked up on making plans without actually, acting towards it. So you want to make sure you're making plans, you're acting on those plans, you're maybe like taking inventory of what you're doing, what is working for you and what is not working for you. After a period of time, you check what you've done. Okay, what difference have I seen in myself or in the goal that I set for myself? If you're not seeing any difference, go back to the drawing board, make assumptions. Otherwise, okay, that's where reviewing and journaling comes in. So for every decisions that you're making or every life-changing actions that you're doing, you want to track it, because whatever is not measured cannot be improved. So you want to track what you've been doing. What has changed when I started eating vegetables? Okay, I think I'm 2.0 inches, whatever. Maybe I'm making, okay, I think I'm sleeping better. I think so you're able to track your before and after to make sure that whatever you set for yourself to do is working. And this is also applicable, very important here, when we are looking for jobs. So a lot of people will say, I've been applying for 100 years, I've not found a role and all that. Sometimes your resume is not right. Sometimes you're not networking with people, you're just applying. Sometimes you're not doing something right. It's not the market sometimes. Yeah, we like to say, oh, the market is really bad, this and that. But most of the time, we need to do a kind of a discernment to look at what we're doing right, that's not working, and what we need to improve. So there's this 5-minute rule that I have. I am trying to incorporate myself to like daily practices to help your critical thinking skill. Like, okay, before I make any decision, I'm not going to be hasty. I'll, stop, pause, think about it. I'm not just going to be autopilot. Okay, I'm always going to play devil's advocate for myself. If I'm thinking something, then I would counter think it as well. Then make sure you're writing things down. Make sure you're writing things down so that you can track how you've changed, how your assumptions are working. If you think something before, make sure you're okay. I think what I thought in January is I'm not subscribing to the idea anymore. I've seen new information. I've experienced new information. So I'm changing those assumptions that I have. Then emotional check-ins. Make sure you're checking in with yourself. Hey, Taiba, what are you feeling right now? Why are you doing this? What's going on in your head? Make sure you're catching yourself. This whole thing, I think, should be easy for many of us if we are like, I mean, I am assuming this is IOTB, so we have a lot of people that are students of Tasawwuf here. So they teach us to be self-aware. So this is how, and we're not just going to be self-aware. I don't think it's just a spiritual thing. In everyday life decisions, actions, self-awareness must be brought in. We must bring it into what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we're dealing with people and those. So sometimes it's good to also think of consequences. For me now, what works for me is thinking of the alternative. Like if I'm thinking of something that's troubling me, I'm like, hey, I don't want this to be my reality in the next 5 years. That triggers me to like, I need to change it. The way I'm doing it, motion baloyi, will pay me in the next 2 years. That's like, oh man, that it's screw. For me personally, it works for me that way. It forces me to like want to change things, want to know better, want to do better. So consequences mapping. So I've heard a lot of motivational speakers even talk about sometimes you can have all the plans to do. If you're not thinking of the consequences of your action, you're probably not going to change because you don't know that what you're doing is bad. So you just keep doing it. I don't have anything to lose. But if you think of the flip side of what you're doing and the consequences, it allows you to like, okay, I need to act right. I think finally, this is going to be my last slide. I wanted to share something, but we might do it another time. Some of the traits that you find of people that are actually excellent critical thinkers is they're genuinely interested in learning new things. You find that they're hungry for knowledge. They want to know. They are not condemning. Even if they know more than you, they will give you the listening here to tell them because they are like a sponge. They want to absorb. So they wouldn't, if you find someone that is really, a good critical thinker, they're always curious to learn from even stupid people. I'm sorry to use that word, but it's the truth. There are stupid people everywhere, as much as there are smart people too. So critical thinkers want to hear what the stupid person wants to say because they want to know if they are also being stupid. They are also intellectually humble. So they will be comfortable with being wrong. They will tell you, this is what I think. They may be wrong, and they'll own up to it. Yeah, I was wrong when I said this. Now I know better. You'll find that with people that are, critical thinkers. Then they're patient. So they will sit with uncertain things. They're not always clear about everything. They're like, okay, let's see how the process, what we'll learn from this, what will be the end of it. What is this situation teaching me? So there's that patience angle. Then they're courageous too. Like, if people are saying, oh, this is this, then no, I beg to differ. Prove to me why this should not be this. It does not mean you are proud. It means that you want to know more, especially if everybody is saying something and you've tested it and you know it's not right. Maybe you have something new to share to the world that you don't even know. So people that are really, excellent critical thinkers, they are not afraid to question assumptions about things. Then they have empathy. It's like empathy is like the highlight of it. They understand that people are at different levels, and everyone will not understand things the way you do. Everyone will not have the capacity to understand. Everybody is at different level. So the way you relate with a 5-year-old will be different from the way you relate with a 15-year-old, and will be different from the way you relate with a 25-year-old. Like that. So they have the ability to bring themselves to the level that they are dealing with. They're not going to judge. They're not going to be like, oh, this is it, this. No. It's like everybody goes to them for solutions to their problem because they make you feel heard. They have empathy. They understand your journey and they're ready to listen to you. So, yeah, I'm just going to wrap up. This is the key takeaways of what I was hoping that we'll learn from this back and forth conversation. Like, intelligence alone does not guarantee that you make good decisions. Critical thinking it's a skill. You can learn it. It's not God. So some people are blessed. Like, God has given them that ability to be critical thinkers. They're not autopilot. They think, they pause. Some people are like that, but you can learn it too if you're not someone like that. So you can learn it. You can learn how to manage your emotions. You can learn how to be a critical thinking person. You can learn how to take a pause, check in with people. Then emotional intelligence actually amplifies your ability to think critically. If you don't have emotional intelligence, so people that think they have very high IQ but they have low EQ, I don't call them intelligent. I call them stupid, because what you see in most people like that is they become proud. They become too confident in their ability to think and solve problems, and they forget that people are at different levels. So they deal with people like, oh, this person is stupid. I can't deal with them. This person is not as smart as I am. But if you find really, people that are in tune with themselves, you see that they are both emotionally intelligent and also analytically good in thinking. Then everybody must have a structured framework. You cannot just live your life like that. There must be some level of structure in your life on how to improve things. You cannot just say, you can't wish things to reality. Actions must meet with whatever your wish. So if you want to be a critical thinker, you must sit down, think of where you're not doing it right, look at some resources that will help you to do better, and start putting it in actions. Probably find yourself an accountability partner that will check in with, okay, how do you think I am as a person like that does this? Who am I? So I have this habit of checking in with people like, what do you think I've changed about me last year compared to now? And people will tell you if they are really true, like, oh, I think last year you were very harsh, you talk this way, but this year I'm saying that you are now calm. Check in with your friends, check in with your allies, check in with your colleagues, your mentors, everybody, your parents, people that you deal with every day. Check in with them, let them give you feedback, because they are the ones that know you the best. And whatever they are telling you is the area of improvement for you to work on. So seek feedback. Yeah, feedback. And I think that's all. Yeah, that's all I have. I hope that my Ejowewe is not too much, and I hope that I did not use too much of my time. I think I went above board. So yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
just right time. Like, this is very, 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 very insightful. Like, took us from level 0 to a million. I can't say 1,000. This is like a million, because there's spiritual. There are a lot of key takeaways. Like, I don't know, my daughter is like very, very full, and I think I need to start making conscious efforts to make myself better and address things as they should. I cannot just brush them off. Oh, because this is not working, I should just ignore it. Or because I'm emotionally biased about these things. Oh, I don't like gay, so that means I should not have any relationship at all with them. So I feel like we should start to understand ourselves better and address things more proactively, and I don't know, just address life as they should, not just tilting towards being biased or not sieving out relevant informations that would aid you in doing things better. So I don't know. There are a lot of things to take out from this session, and we are grateful to you for this session. Please, we'll be taking questions. We know we are running out of time, but just we'll be taking just 2 questions. So 2 questions, the fastest finger for those questions. 2 questions going. I know we have questions, so please, this is the time to raise up your hands for that question you have. Raise your hands. Wow. It appears like everybody on this call understands everything that has been discussed. Ma'am, I think I need a private session, because even though I understand all what has been discussed, I still need to, like, I don't know, so that everything can just settle in. So if you want a private session, please book with me.
I don't group with you. I did with you already.
You gave me what?
Ma, please.
Okay, so
I'm with you in the private the private session. We'll go together.
no, ask your question now. Now I'm
also part of that.
private session is $1,000. That's because it's IOTB Tech.
You pay for us, Sha.
Me go, I'll pay the mentor. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for this insightful session. We are grateful to you and to Allah for making us alive, or for sparing our lives and giving us this opportunity to witness this session. I think this would help us not just with our day-to-day lives, with our spiritual lives, and how much we relate to people and how much we address our problems and solve them critically, because yes, that's the key point of this old discussion. Of course, we have 4.0, so we'll be discussing more on various relevant topics. So the vote of thanks, we need a volunteer for that. Bosco, please share your screen. And someone who hasn't spoken on this call today, Carrie, you have been very, very proactive. I don't know. My mind has said I should call you. So please give the vote of thanks. Harry, are you here?
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Okay.
Please give the vote. It's already up. So just read and show your gratitude. Thank you.
All right. As we draw the curtains for today's thought-provoking session, on behalf of the IOTB Tech team, I say a very big Jazakumullah Kiran to our facilitator, Seidat Toiba, for investing our time, expertise, and experiences. The problem-solving ideas and examples shared will aid us in better addressing critical issues effectively, offering better results. To the League of Administrators, faculty lead, and mentors, your efforts to liberate lives cannot be underestimated. Thank you for your continuous support. We are grateful. To the fellows, thank you for joining in. This event wouldn't have been possible without your dedication and interest. Keep the momentum. This is a reminder to make good use of the strategies shared. Approach life with a new and better perspective. Go and excel. Success is yours. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Henry. Success is yours. So do well. Do have you used sorry use this information you have just learned today to better your life. Like your life is in your hands and no one can make it better. Of course, with Allah's help than other than you. So take that proactive step to make better decisions, better informed decisions. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time and efforts, your dedication to
Look for he's raising his hand.
Chief.
Me, I just wanted us to this is for all of us. I'll not say against, I don't, for lack of better words. This is for all of us to our presenter. What do you think about having our presenter as part of our faculty? Maybe like something like counselor, guidance and counselor, or something like that. I don't know. Guys, what do you think now? You know, there are days that you are just lost, you don't know where to go. Semia is there already frowning her face, being the people's admin. Latifa is there looking for ways to sanction people, right? You want to talk to someone. What do you think? Mr. Iba will say I'm setting her up. I'm just asking, guys.
In support, sir. Totally in support, sir.
We support. Thank
I know you will support. Oh, will you pay for that? Are you honestly? Are you willing to pay for that? No, she will do it for free, but I'm asking, are we willing to pay for that?
Actually, it is what saying.
It's so unfortunate that in this part of the world, right? All of these things, we get people that talk to us, people who guide us and do all of those things for free. That's why we don't take sessions like this very serious. If you are in other climes, right, you pay for all of these things. In fact, sometimes if you have a spiritual guide in some climes, you even pay to see them and get all of those nuggets that you get, all of the nuggets you get from your mentors in classes and all of those things, all of those life hacks. In some climes, you pay for those things. And just like I've mentioned on WhatsApp, if you have a friend or somebody who didn't join this call, tell them not to wait for query. They should go ahead and get this video, go through it end to end, then make a 10, and the slide must not be the same as the presenter slide, like a 10 slide PowerPoint. And Latifa, it has to be submitted to my own email, like copy, it has to be forwarded directly to me, and they can copy IOTB tech email, and I must get this latest by 9 p.m. on Thursday. And I am saying it openly. Anybody that failed to submit is leaving the program, and I will tell you why. The why all of these things, their criteria is that if it is just for you to have tech skills, we don't need all of this stress that we are going through. Understood? You can write your code and do all of those things. Just like she has mentioned, you can be very good as a tech person, but you lack critical thinking skills. I'll give you an example that is happening this evening as I speak to you. We are meant to migrate a customer from one environment to another environment using one certain tool, right? The tool, we provide that tool. And what that means is that should we have any problem during migration, what it means is we can get support internally. I don't know if anybody is flowing with me. We can get support and we can take responsibility as a company, right? And I have this junior colleague whom, as a result of the pressure from customer to migrate, is insisting that we should go ahead to use an open source tool. I'll tell you, our own tool at the moment, for some reason, for this particular migration, it's not functional because we needed the customer to do some things for us. And those things requires customers approval. And that approval cannot happen this weekend. And we must go live tomorrow with that application. We must migrate. Now, this my junior colleague is insisting that we have a workaround. Let's go for open source tool. I was telling that guy, You know, when you're an elderly person, you like some things you can directly see it. I told him, I said, look, I'm not going to do this migration with any workaround. We are talking about customers' data. Anything can happen. Look, in the last 2 weeks, I've been having some sort of sleepless night. Do you know why? Because a customer's account was hacked and the customer lost data, and it's going to impact the reputation of my company. And do you know what happened? It's because the junior engineer that executed the project failed to implement some basic things. And trust me, all those basic things, if you are missing sessions, they ask you to come to triage, you are missing it. They ask you to come to stand up, you are missing it. They ask you to come to village sync, you are missing it, thinking that, oh, all you need to have is the technical skills. Trust me, all of those small, small things, they are enough to mar somebody's career. So that is the reason why anybody that fails to do this submission is leaving the program. Because look, it's not just about coding. You have to be all-rounder. Like you have to be all-rounder. So Latifa, you take that up for us. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Ishki.
Yes, wa alaikum salam. Nam.
Okay. I wanted to share something before we leave. It's probably going to take like 5 minutes. But it was part of the extras that I want to add to the program. And the reason I want to share it, first, my assumption was this is a Muslim only gathering. The reason I did not share it before was because you mentioned that somebody, yeah. Now, the reason I decided to share it again is because I felt like it's valuable information for everyone, and anybody of any faith can relate to what I want to share. So there's actually there's this community that I just joined. It's called the Productive Muslim. And in that community, one of the things we discussed in recent time is try to look at why the Muslims generally are at the back of things. Why is the highest illiteracy rates in the Islamic world? Why is the highest rate of unemployment between the Muslims? Why is it that we have the lowest recognized professors and innovators and all that? Even though we are an ummah of reading, we are an ummah of work, we are an ummah of do tafakkur. Why are those things not reflecting in the community? And some of the things that we identified is there's some dangerous subconscious beliefs that Muslims have, and the way we can kind of change those narrative is to identify those things and seek to change those narrative within ourselves, within our community. And I told myself that I was going to share it in this place. So one of the things that was identified is we have this belief that, oh, we should do Zud, we should neglect the dunya, we should only seek for the hereafter. I'm sorry for some of the Arabic words that I'm using. I will try to use English words so that others that don't understand will get what I'm trying to say. So the point is that we have this belief that, oh, ajeka safaye, let me put it that way, like let's only seek for the hereafter, let's seek for God's pleasure. And there's a very wrong understanding of how those things are being applied. What is to be understood is whatever we are seeking in the hereafter, we work for those things in this earth. If we don't work for it here, there's no other platform. I mean, how will you work for the hereafter if you're not on earth? You have to be here first. So that's why we have this prayer, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan, that we pray for. We pray for goodness in this world and in the next. So if we're praying for goodness in this world, then that means we have the opportunity to make impact in people's life. We have the opportunity to be the best, to be the example, to be like the forefront of the early Muslims that lived the golden era. So why are we hiding? It seems like it's like laziness for us. We've become lazy and avoiding doing the work but expecting an abstract result, like our reward is in the heaven, our own, those kind of subconscious belief. Those are part of the reasons why this kind of things are happening. Another thing we mentioned is that people believe that, oh, if you make dua, everything will be fine. So we are like praying. We are always asking for sir. We are always asking for this new prayer. We are, Sheikh, please give us this, give us that. But we're not doing anything to match up to it. In fact, most of us are not even doing those as cars. We just collect it, like, you know, a collection of artifacts in our house, but we're not doing the work. Meanwhile, the way the dua works is that you must do something and then pray. If you're looking for a job, you fix your resume, you connect with people, you talk to hiring managers, you apply. You're not just going to pray that you want a job and not do anything. So you get the skill, you improve yourself, you apply, you get feedbacks. It's like an iterative process. You do that. If you're looking for a spouse, you talk to people that can connect you with, potential spouse. You put yourself out there so that people can know, okay, this person is out. But if you're not doing anything and you're just praying like, oh, I have exam, I'll just keep praying. You're not reading, you're not doing practice exam, you're not doing anything. You're wasting your time. So another thing we talk about is, we have to have patience. Let's be patient. And we make patience look like a passive thing, when in reality, our patience is supposed to be active. We must be patient while we are doing something. So while you're being patient, you must also be working on something. You must be patient and showing up for interviews. You must be patient and getting feedbacks and implementing those feedback. You must be patient and also be like, I need to grow, I need to develop myself. So you cannot be patient and just be laid back. Then I think the last part was righteousness does not equal to, let me put it in a different way. Like, we believe that people that pray, people that fast, people that go to mosque every day, that nothing bad should happen to them. They are righteous people. They are the best of examples. We have that, subconscious. And then we find that no, you can see someone that prays, and their head is probably all black and everything, but they're terrible people. They probably hate on others. They don't, like, you see the physical sign of worshiping them. Like, they can be all fasting Monday, Thursday, Ramadan, everything, but they're not, it's not translating to a better quality of life. So we should strive to make sure that whatever we are trying to do is actually reflecting. So one of the ways that, we don't think righteousness is being socially responsible. How do I become someone that people benefit from? How do I become someone that I'm not just coming to this world to take space? I'm actually going to contribute. I will be the best of myself. I'm going to push, get those skills, get a good job, be a source of inspiration for people in my community, make life better around myself and the people around me. That's what righteousness should be focused more on, how we're making impact in people's life, not just on our personal worship with God, where I can read 100 pages of the Quran in a day. No, that's personal between you and God. But how do people really benefit from you? How do you really become the Khalifatullah fil Ard that we all claim, like, oh, I'm the vicegerent of God and all that? You have to be, resourceful. And then there's a misconception with qadar, like everything is written, Allah has written everything down, so we're just like laid back. Let's just keep suffering. Let's just keep being in poverty. This is what Allah has destined for us. No, Allah wants us to strive. He wants us to pray. He wants us to strive. He said that if you do this, I'll do this for you. That means he's giving us a way out. If you're poor, he said that if you do this, I will not deny the reward for those that do good. I will not deny the reward of those that thank me, because I'll give them more. So he has given us that, yeah, there's qadar, but there is also will. There's a ability to make choices, better choices every day. When you wake up, you make a choice to show up at work, make a choice to learn a skill, make a choice to do something. All of those things that we do are what will change the qadar, if you're really true to yourself. But if you're like, oh, this is my qadar, it's just like people that say, oh, I'm emotionally this, that's how I was made, or something. Like, no, it's just excuses that people make to not do what they have to do. So I just felt like I should share that with us, so that, as people of faith, we may have the tendencies to think like this, but there are other ways to also think about things and actually strive to be better. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I don't know how much or how I can say my thank you. Like, Jazakumullah khair, and like, we are very, 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 very grateful for the nuggets, for the advice, for the tips, for the push, for the reminders. Like, I think this will just go a long way in helping us shape our lives moving on. I think we need to listen to this video over and over, just like a reminder that this is like a new lecture that guy, you have to like get your brain, just keep moving, just keep doing better. Just even though if yesterday did not work out, oh, if I make conscious efforts to make tomorrow better, and I think I can get there. So overall, we are grateful. We thank you for your time, for your efforts, for your selflessness, because yes, we've used over 3 hours of your time, or close to 3 hours of your time, and here you are still here with us. So we are grateful. It's not up to that actually. We started around 4:30, and this is 7. So okay, Nigerian time. So that's just a little above 2 hours. So thank you very much. And so we're not doing okay. Let's have a closing prayer. Of course, we begin with the name of Allah, and we have to close in the name of Allah. And the person that'll be doing that for us is Ainde Habib. So please, sir, we're waiting for you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah, Fatiha 1, Allah 11, Salat Fatiha 10, Hadith Sheikh Ibrahim.
We can barely hear you.
I said Bismillah 1, Allah 11, Salat Fatiha 10, Hadith Sheikh Ibrahim. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله.
Amen. So please, your friend that missed this webinar session or this clinic, yes, because yes, I'm grateful that we named this session a clinic, because this is where we can just do our health check once more. So to everybody that missed this session, well, I cannot say it's your loss, because of course you can go through this video again. That's like a plus. So please reach out to your friends that they have a query, and as the chief of query, I'll be in their DMs saying hi to them, and please, their reports must be submitted on or before Thursday. Thank you very much, everybody. Mr. Toiba, thank you for your time once again. And to everybody that has participated to the end of this call, thank you so much. We look forward to having more of this insightful session. Assalamu alaikum to everybody. Bye.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank
wabarakatuh.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, right?
Moscow, please. D1, of course.
Go and observe Maghrib. Yeah, everybody leave the call. Go and do Maghrib. Tó fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ fún wọn. Ó yá sọ̀rọ̀, sọ pé Salaam alaikum. Kò tẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó dáhùn, orí kò sẹ́ni bọ̀ tó dáhùn náà.
I'm Rabios.